Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval. Today we'll be finishing up reviewing one of the two new Japanese battleships that have been added to the Japanese battleship tech tree, and that is Omi, or as I have renamed her, Shinomi. This is easily the largest Japanese battleship in the game. If you can just compare her to something like a Yamato, um, this is the size difference. It's pretty substantial actually, and she has a lot of freeboard, and she may not be the easiest ship to play, but she has a pretty straightforward gameplay that doesn't really allow for much error. And I'll explain what that means in a moment. But for right now, just you can see that she is just a really large battleship, and that does have an impact on her playstyle. Alright, so let's see what kind of stats we have. So we have health of 93,800. We have a 33% torpedo damage resistance. Armor-wise, we're not terrible actually. We have belt armor of 16.1 inches or so. Maximum of 560 millimeters. Looks like there's a lot of armor on the barbettes and turret faces here. And honestly, I've been playing the personal mission for the Iowa Camo event pretty often, and Shinomi is one of the ships that you have to face there. It's actually pretty difficult to citadel this ship. The best way I've been able to citadel her is the same way to citadel Yamato, right under the turrets at an angle like this. But yeah, I've been shooting her like broadsides and getting pens, and even shooting under the rear turrets and getting pens. But the one place that I've had consistent luck with is right underneath the front turrets here. So that might be her only real weakness besides just being absolutely gigantic. So yeah, there's that. So armor wise, she actually fares a little bit better in my experience than other Japanese battleships. That doesn't mean you're invincible or like anything near a German battleship, but you're still pretty decent for a Japanese battleship. Let's see what else do we have. We have 410 millimeter guns, just like Amagi and Hiraga. However, one thing I do want to show you is the size of the turrets. Look at the difference between them. So here we have Hiraga, which has the third year 50 cal 410 millimeter guns, and these are the 10th year 410 millimeter guns. The turrets are absolutely massive, and it's just I don't really see any difference in game style, honestly. There's only a little bit of change in regards to the damages. Shinomi has a little bit better armor piercing damage than Hiraga, but not by much. But yeah, you can see the stats here. The ship is a really good sniper, just like Hiraga. You have the same kind of playstyle, except you're much larger as a target, even though you still have the same kind of weaponry. So main guns, you can shoot out to 25.9 kilometers, which is actually pretty decent at this tier. Secondaries shoot out to 7 kilometers. You have a similar secondaries to Yamato. You have 2 super firing 155s, and you have 4 twin 127s on each side. These also act as anti-aircraft defense, because you can look at the deck. You only have a few smaller AA guns, but nothing other than that. So if you HE spam this entire area, more than likely the ship will lose the majority of its AA defense. And that's not a hard area to spam. That's pretty much exactly where you're going to be hitting if you're spamming the ship with high explosive. So yeah, secondaries, not terrible. The 155s shoot armor piercing, and the 127s shoot high explosive, so you have a good mix of both. Especially the 155s, those actually do quite a bit of damage. AA defense, good damages, kind of, but the ranges are still kind of meh. Nothing that really excite me all that much. See your speed. We go 28 knots, so we're actually one of the faster Japanese battleships. She's faster than Yamato and Super Yamato and everything like that, but I don't think she's as fast as Amagi. Let's take a look. Now, Amagi can go 30 knots, And Congo can also go 30 knots. So she's the third fastest, I would say, maybe. Well, regardless, it's still 28 knots. There's ships that are going to be faster than you at this tier still. Aircraft, you have fighters, 3 of them, nothing too special about that. In terms of modules and consumables, you have a heal and you have a DCP. I have her equipped with accuracy to get a really good sniper battleship, and with it, let's toss her into a game and show her how she plays. Alright, let's see what we have for a game. A lot of battleships, a couple cruisers, and a couple destroyers. So, good kind of game for my sniping kind of playstyle. The surprising thing about this ship in particular is that she's the only 9.5 matchmaking battleship. There's quite a few 9.6s, but that does differ just a little bit from, well, 9.5. So she's kind of special in that regards, which actually surprised me because I kind of expected her to be a 9.6. Honestly, I don't think that'll change much in terms of her play style, though. As you can see here, she's going up against 10s and 9 matchmaking battleships, and even the Bismarck, because Bismarcks are tossed into tier 10 games for whatever reason. But let's see what we can do. Alright, so we have a Montana, a Centurion, a Shinomi, a Monarch, a Yamato, a Lion, and a Bismarck. All pretty decent. You can just see the size of the ship, though. It's absolutely massive. And you don't really get any bonuses from that. You become a bigger target, but yet you have less firepower than Yamato. Right, so this is the kind of gun angles that you have on the ship here. Again, you have a weak point right under the bow turrets, and this kind of angle is perfect for hitting that. So questionable good gun angles. I don't think I'm going to clear the island here, so I'm going to wait to fire on this Montana. Launch a fighter. We launch 2 fighters at a time. That's always helpful. And Shinomi. Let's see what we can do. I do have health buffs and speed buffs applied, so that is why I'm going a little bit faster than the 28 knots I was talking about. But it's not so much that it becomes unreasonable. Alright, so Centurion is kind of giving us a broadside here. You can see the accuracy of these shells. It really comes close to British levels of accuracy. Unfortunately, I still only missed half my shots there. I think this Montana's going to give us trouble here. Whatever. And you just have the same exact playstyle as the Hiraga. Just set at range and you snipe. Because you don't really have the whole design or armor to really tank much, nor do you have the secondaries to even close in, and you don't have the AA to take down aircraft. So you just sit in a spot where you're not going to be noticed all that much, and just pick away at broadsides whenever you can. So this is pretty much the same exact playstyle as Hiraga. However, Hiraga does have the advantage in terms of her being a smaller ship, which makes her a harder target at range. The same cannot be said for Shinomi, as you can clearly see. Let's see, is this Takao going to survive? Well, we'll let our secondaries work her over because they'll be able to citadel her quite easily. In the meantime, we're going to work on this Centurion a little bit more. We're just going to let our secondaries work over the Takao. Not really too worried about that. Yep, there she goes. Alright, so we're still working on the Centurion here, but the enemy Shinomi is actually getting kind of close. So I think we'll have a good chance to Citadel her through her weak hull area right under the turrets, and we can show you what that looks like. So she is starting to turn in, so let's fire while we can. And yep, the Citadel right underneath the turrets there. And I think she's going to start turning her turrets for us. So let's eliminate her while we can. Yep, as you can see, point blank, it doesn't matter what kind of battleship you are, you're still going to take a bunch of damage. And in this case, you'll be one-shotted. Alright, so now there's only 5 battleships, and there's still 1 destroyer left as well. Now let's see what we can do against this Centurion. Maybe we can finish her off here quickly. Alright, so the destroyer's over there in Bravo. So I don't need my fighters up right now. Daring only has 10-kilometer torpedoes, I think? 10 or 11. I think I might have the boost, so it goes up to 11. But regardless, I'm not anywhere near that, so I'm fine right now. And yeah, you just kind of stay back and snipe. Late game, you're free to push a little bit harder, because hopefully by this time you'll have sniped a good portion of the enemy battleships and cruisers into very low health. As you can see, I just did over 33,000 damage without any citadels on that Montana there. And then you can just kind of push in a little bit. You're not going to be like face-to-face brawling like Bismarck or Tirpitz, but you can definitely do a little bit more if you push in. There goes Centurion. We're actually getting quite a few fires with our secondaries as well. We've gotten 3 fires so far. Alright, let's see what we can do to this poor Bismarck. Oof. Wait, we Citadel him? Oh wow. Alright. Alright, so it looks like Daring is actually going to come play with us, but she's just about to get into secondary range. Let's see how secondaries are against destroyers. Not too bad, actually. I don't think she has merit as a full secondary build, but she at least has enough to be somewhat decent in close quarters. Alright, so let's see what else. Maybe we can Citadel this Bismarck again, because that was actually pretty close range for a Citadel. I'm surprised I was able to do it. Still did a ton of damage. Now let's see if we can actually work on this Montana a little bit, because she has the most health right now. But you can see how strong the ship might be, even though she still has only 16-inch guns at this tier. 3 Citadels and that Montana is almost sunk. Let's see if we can get a double kill off of this. I don't think so, but we're going to try. Eh, oof, really close. Right, you're sunk, and you should be sunk here soon as well. And there we go. We have ourselves a game. So let's see how we did. I didn't feel like we did very much, but I think we had quite a few citadels, so we might have some decent damage. 445,000 damage. The ship always surprises me because I feel like I don't have that good games, but it's been consistent where I've had games and it's just I have over 400,000 damage consistently. Um, it surprises me honestly. So I have 4 ships sunk, 129 shell hits, 1 aircraft shot down, 12 citadels, 3 fires, and 171 secondary hits for almost 7,700 base XP. So yep, we did 391,000 damage with armor piercing shells. Fires did 21,000 damage, and secondary battery did almost 33,000 damage, 9,000 in high explosive, and almost 24,000 in armor piercing. So those triple 155s definitely do a lot of damage. Final verdict on the ship. She's not a bad ship by any means. You're just a big ship and an easy target. Your armor can kind of be questionable, especially the closer the enemy gets. You're better at range, honestly. Main guns, I have no problem with them. Really, really good sniper capabilities with very close shell groupings. Secondaries, your 155s will do the most damage, but your 127s with destroyers at bay for a little bit. If it gets close enough to you that your secondaries are shooting at it, though, you're already doing something wrong. AA, not really that impressive. Like I said, if you just aim for the center area, most of the AA will be destroyed. And that's pretty much it overall. There's really not much difference from her to Hiraga. You just have a ship that's twice as big for pretty much no additional benefits. So that's kind of a drawback there. With that, I will wrap up today's video. If you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe for further content. And tomorrow we'll be doing the stats clash for the Tier 2 battleships, the few that there are, and then reviewing Tier 2 ships in general because that will wrap up Tier 2 altogether. And then after that, we can start going over the modern World War II Russian battleship line, starting with Poltava, going to Lenin, Vladivostok, and then lastly with Kremlin. So with that, I will wrap up today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and thank you for watching and take care.